employee, you calculate your salary for a month, the bad times by 12, the bá rí pé kò wọ 800,000. The good news is that you are exempted from paying tax.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan bóyá owó oṣù tá à ń gbà ní oṣooṣù tá a bá ṣí gbogbo rẹ̀ fún ọdún kan tí ó bá wọ 800,000 eléyà ò ní sanwó lórí rẹ̀ rárá.
Now we have the VAT and the VAT, which is it still remains 7.5%.
7.5 náà ṣì ní VAT.
Before now, they wanted to increase the VAT to 10%, but as at when the reform came up, they still left it at 7.5%.
7.5% náà ni VAT tí a máa san nínú àwọn owó tí ó ń wọlé.
Now talking of the PIT, which is the personal income tax, the one I said I will talk more on now. We have, what is PIT?
PIT, personal income tax.
These are taxes paid by individuals on the money they earn.
Owó tẹ́nì kankan san nínú owó tí wọ́n wọlé fún wọn.
For salary earners, PIT is paid, that's your personal income tax, is paid through payee. That's pay as you earn.
Àbí a ṣe ń gba owó bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ṣe ń yọ owó orí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan.
Majority of us are actually working under someone, maybe a company or so. We notice that at the end of the month, taxes are actually deducted from our salary.
Àwa tá à ń ṣe ní iléeṣẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan tá a bá rí i pé tó ń sanwó oṣù wa sí ilé ìfowópamọ́ sọ ma ni pé wọ́n ti máa ń yọ owó orí díẹ̀díẹ̀ ní inú owó wa.
Also, we have the self-employed like the traders, artisans, freelancers. You also pay personal income tax directly.
Àwa tí à ń tajà tàbí oníṣòwò a rí i pé a máa ń san owó orí ní tààrà.
Why was personal income tax reformed? The question now is, why was PIT, that's personal income tax, why was it reformed?
Lórí tí a tún fi tún ṣe ẹ̀yin owó orí tí ara wa ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan tí à ń san tí a fi tún ṣe.
Before the reform, low-income earners were overburdened.
Àwọn tí ó ń sanwó, àwọn tí ó ń gba owó oṣù kéékèèké tẹ́lẹ̀ owó yẹn ti pọ̀jù fún wọn tí wọ́n ń san. The
tax rules, it was confusing nígbà yẹn. That was before the reform.
Kí wọ́n tó tún ṣe eléyìí ó dàrú kò yí àwọn ènìyàn kó tó di àtúnṣe ìgbà àtúnṣe yìí.
We have situations tó jẹ́ pé the rich were avoiding tax.
A ní àwọn ipò tí ó pé àwọn tó lówó púpọ̀ àwọn wọn ò sanwó yìí.
So the burden was now placed on the low income earners.
Ẹrù yẹn wá pọ̀ jù lórí àwọn tí wọ́n ń gba owó kéékèèké tí ó ń wọlé fún wọn.
But presently now the reform is aimed to make the personal income tax fairer, simpler and more supportive for low-income earners.
A rí pé owó orí tuntun tí a ṣe ṣe yìí ó tún máa jẹ́ ètò tún máa ro àwọn tí owó oṣù tó ń wọlé fún wọn tí ó pọ̀ ó máa jẹ́ kó tún dára kó tún kó rọ̀ wọ́n lọ́rùn sí.
Just like I said, low-income earners pay little or no tax.
Àwọn tó ń wọlé fún wọn kéré a rí pé wọn ò ní san owó orí púpọ̀ àbí kán má tiẹ̀ san rárá.
Presently, the minimum wage now is 70,000 naira.
Owó oṣù tó kéré jù báyìí ni 70,000 naira.
So if you are to calculate it, you will notice that the salary, that's those that are actually in that band, they pay little or no tax.
Tí a bá ṣe ìṣirò rẹ̀ ní ọdún àwọn tó ń gba bíi 70,000 ní ọdún a rí pé òbí àwọn ò ní sanwó orí rárá lórí owó tó máa lórí owó oṣù wọn fún ọdún.
Then also, I will tell you, we are working under someone now. It is very easy for you to know how much will be deducted from your salary.
Àtàǹṣe ní abẹ́ èèyàn ó máa rọrùn fún láti mọ iye owó tí wọ́n yọ nínú owó oṣù wa.
So kò ní jẹ́ pé tẹ́ bá rí alert, you can just calculate it yourself. Like ọ̀gá tax that your I think is more than, and we have situations where we have some employees one man your tax what they can remit still government. Àwọn
oníṣẹ́ mìíràn tó ní oníléeṣẹ́ wọ́n máa ń yọ owó oṣù nínú owó oṣù àwọn ọmọ tó ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbọ̀n wọn ò ní fún ìjọba ní owó orí.
So there's a way you can actually confirm that.
Ó ní ibi tá a fi lè fìdí eléyìí múlẹ̀ tá a fi lè ṣe àyẹ̀wò rẹ̀.
Ways you can confirm it now. Presently now, everything is done online.
Àwọn gbogbo ti wà ní orí afẹ́fẹ́ báyìí.
So it's something you can go online to. If you can't visit their tax station, that's tax offices. For those in Ogun State, that's OGRS, Ogun State Internal Revenue Service.
Tí a ò bá fẹ́ lọ síbi iléeṣẹ́ àwọn olówó orí ní Ogun State tàbí níbikíbi, ó ní ọ̀nà tá a fi lè ṣe àyẹ̀wò rẹ̀.
It's something that you can actually walk in there and okay, you want to find out about your tax your tax history.
àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ tí a bá sọ fún wọn pé a fẹ́ wo bí a ṣe ń san owó orí wa sí.
Because we have situations that I've heard of a lot of situations tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọ̀gá wọn máa yọ owó but they will not remit it to the government.
a ní when boss will remove money sí pé wọn ò ní san sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ìjọba.
Now for the self-assessment I said I will come back to.
self-assessment mo ní máa padà wá sí orí rẹ̀.
Now this present administration, everybody now, what they want to do is bring everybody into the tax net.
àní ìjọba tí a wà yọ fẹ́ mú kí gbogbo èèyàn kó wá kí wọn náà wà nínú ètò owó orí.
It's something that I want, like business owners, traders, you can actually walk into the revenue service like, okay, this is for a whole year, this is the income that I earned.
wọ́n lè lọ sí iléeṣẹ́ àwọn olówó orí ká lọ bá àwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún pé fún ọdún kan iye èrè tí mo jẹ ní eléyìí.
Possibly, let's just say, just for an example, let's just say 2 million naira.
fún àpẹẹrẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ 2 million naira ní èrè wa lọ́dún.
And it is self-assessment because you are the one that is going to declare, you are the one that is going to pay, tell the government, okay, my income is 2 million naira for per annum.
ó jẹ́ ti ara ẹni tó pé wọ́n fúnra ẹni wàá lọ bá wọn sọ fún wọn pé iye tí mo rí ní ọdún lélẹ́yìí.
So on that 2 million, your tax will now be calculated on that 2 million.
lórí 2 million tí jẹ́ èrè wa yìí wọ́n máa yọ owó orí wa ní ibẹ̀.
But there is a way that the revenue will confirm whether it was 2 million or not.
bó ní ọ̀nà tí àwọn oníṣẹ́ yìí máa fi mọ̀ bí iye tí a sọ yìí náà ló jẹ́ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́.
Because everybody might want to like, I can't pay more than, ó lè jẹ́ pé I've made the decision pé tax mo fẹ́ san lọ́dún is just 100,000.
bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti ní lọ́kàn pé bí 100,000 mo fẹ́ san fún owó orí ní ọdún yìí.
But they can actually get your bank statements even without your consent.
wọ́n lè gba ìwé tó bá ṣe fi owó pamọ́ láì tẹ́ pé a mọ̀ rárá láti mọ iye tá a rí ní èrè.
And going through your bank statement, if they see transactions like ẹni tó declare pé he had 2 million before, what they reach transaction of 20 million, 30 million.
ẹni tó wọ́n tó pé bí 2 million lòun ló jẹ́ èrè òun tó bá rí pé bí 20 million àbí 30 million ní èrè rẹ̀ lọ́dún.
So they will like, you have to come and explain this 20 million in your bank statement.
wọ́n máa pè wá tí wàá ṣàlàyé 20 million tó wà nínú àwọn ètò bí owó ṣe fowó ránṣẹ́ ní.
So if he's convinced enough that okay, yes, this 20 million was not an income.
tó bá fi dáhùn lójú pé 20 million yìí ò kì í ṣe owó èrè owó oṣù tí mo gbà.
And let me just say this. One thing about taxation is just have your documents, like documentation.
ká ní àwọn ìwé tí à ń lò ìwé tó máa fi jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tí à ń sọ lóòótọ́ ni.
Like every of your transactions, just have supporting documents for your transactions, like the one that you can actually vouch for. Oh, this money that came in was not my income, was not this, was not that. That's what the taxman just want to know. Just evidence.
àwọn ìwé tó máa gbé lẹ́sẹ̀ nǹkan tí àwọn tó ń gba owó orí fẹ́ mọ́ ni tó bá ti rí àwọn ìwé tó gbé lẹ́sẹ̀ pé eléyìí kì í ṣe èrè mi eléyìí owó báyìí ló jẹ́ wọn a ò ní ìṣòro. So
after the revenue says, okay, Mr. Lagbaja, this 20 million that is inside your bank account, since you can't explain it, it has to be added back to the 2 million you declared and be taxed.
àti tábà lè ṣàlàyé 20 million tí wọ́n lé ní owó ìfowópamọ́ wa yìí wọ́n máa dà á pọ̀ mọ́ 2 million tí a sọ wọ́n máa yọ owó orí níbẹ̀.
But there's room for objection.
a lè takò.
You can say this 20 million, these are the documents that prove that okay, this 20 million is not an income, it was a gift. But even gifts, and someone that says his income is 2 million and there's a gift of 20 million, it's going to be very dicey.
2 million lówó tá a rí ṣùgbọ́n a sọ fún pé ẹ̀bùn jẹ́ 20 million eléyìí máa le ó máa ṣòro díẹ̀.
So the taxman can actually add it back and say okay, after going through your bank statements, the tax you have to pay for the year is about 2.5 million.
wọ́n lè dá pọ̀ kọ́ wá sọ wípé owó tá a máa san fún owó orí fún ọdún 2.5 million ni.
Then after forth and back pé rárá o mi ò gbà and this can actually go on for years.
eléyìí ó lè lo tó gba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún tàbá tí ń fà á.
I've seen a situation tó jẹ́ pé for láti 2016 wọ́n sì wà lórí ẹ̀ presently now tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n sì ń fà and everything, so we have situation tó pé tó bá ti rí pé you are not coming forth, your file might actually be taken to legals.
wọ́n lè mú ìwé wa lọ
That's the
sínú
enforcement.
òfin.
That's the enforcement department.
àwọn tó máa fi òfin mú wa.
So presently now, so like I said earlier, after the taxman is convinced that okay, this amount is not your income, and the one you declared is actually truly your income. For that year, there's what we call a tax clearance certificate.
sábà dájú pé owó tí a sọ yìí kì í ṣe owó oṣù wa tàbí èrè wa lẹ́yìn wọ́n bá sì yọ nínú ìtẹ́ àrí yẹn wọ́n máa fún wa ní ìwé ẹ̀rí pé wọ́n yọ owó orí wa.
So that's the tax clearance certificate will now be issued to you that okay, for this year you have been assessed and taxed for the year 2025, 2024. Okay, so a tax clearance certificate will now be issued to you.
ìwé ẹ̀rí yẹn fún ọdún yẹn pé fún ọdún yìí pé a ti yọ owó orí nínú gbogbo àwọn owó wa wọ́n máa fún wa ní ìwé ẹ̀rí fún eléyìí.
But for, like I said, I don't want to, the company income tax is actually very broad. But for the company income tax, also, after we have what is called a DEX review. After every year, companies are to file their accounts. They have to file their accounts with the revenue service.
gbogbo àwọn tó gbà àwọn tí ilé iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yẹn ó gbòòrò ìfẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ níbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí àwọn tí ilé iṣẹ́ ńláńlá náà wọ́n máa lọ àwọn ìjọba àwọn tó wà nídìí owó orí wọ́n máa ṣe àyẹ̀wò bí owó ṣe wọlé fún wọn.
So after filing your account, there's what is called DEX review. They will review what the company has actually filed for the year.
wọ́n máa ṣe àyẹ̀wò iye tí àwọn ilé iṣẹ́ yẹn tí wọ́n sọ wípé ó jẹ́ èrè wọn fún ọdún.
Just like the personal income tax, that's for individuals. So they would actually come up with some figures like, okay, so company, come and explain how you arrive at your revenue.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí owó orí tẹ nìkankan náà máa pè àwọn iléeṣẹ́ náà pé wọ́n bá ṣe àlàyé iye báyìí tẹ pè ní iye owó tẹ rí ní ọdún ẹ wá ṣàlàyé bóyá jẹ́ iye báyìí.
Like I said earlier, they have ways of getting your bank statements without your notice.
wọ́n ní ọ̀nà láti gba gbogbo bí a ṣe ń ṣe àwọn ètò ọ̀rọ̀ owó yẹn ìwò ránṣẹ́ wa láì jẹ́ pa mọ̀.
So because we have situations like our companies, companies don't really like to declare their turnover 100%.
àwọn iléeṣẹ́ wọn kì í fẹ́ láti sọ iye owó tí wọ́n rí ní ọdún ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà.
Because nobody likes to pay tax.
kò sẹ́ni tó rí pé kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ máa san owó orí.
And if we are honest with ourselves, we all know what is happening in the country. Who would like to pay tax? Just look at our roads, look at the lights. Most people are actually very pissed, like, you expect me to pay tax? Okay, what have I enjoyed paying tax?
tàbájọ́ ló tọ́ pẹ̀lú àtàbá wo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa pé kò sọ́nà kò sí gbogbo ẹ̀ kò sí pé kí mo wá fẹ́ san owó orí fún pẹ̀lú bí gbogbo nǹkan ṣe rí.
But sometimes what are we to do? We still have to pay it.
ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tá a lè ṣe náà kò sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe pé a máa san náà ni.
So like I said, they have ways of getting information without your knowledge, without your consent. So most of the times, after the tax review, they present their own findings to you. Like, so and so company. How come this transaction was traced to your bank statement, was traced to your company? Come and explain.
wọ́n ní ọ̀nà láti lọ ṣe àyẹ̀wò láì jẹ́ pé a mọ̀ tí pé nípa bówó ṣe wọlé àti àwọn owó tí àwọn wá sọ tó yàtọ̀ sí ti àwọn rí ọmọ ní ká wá ṣàlàyé bó ṣe jẹ́.
So if you can't explain it, as usual, this money will be added to your revenue and also be taxed accordingly.
tí a ò bá lè ṣàlàyé ó máa dàpọ̀ mọ́ owó tí ó wọlé fún wa ó sì máa yọ owó orí ní inú rẹ̀.
So in summary of it, the new tax reform is to what's it called, to help the low income tax earners, and also for the high earners, definitely they will be paying more tax.
ní kúkúrú gan láti tó owó orísun tí a ṣe ìgbéjáde yìí láti ran àwọn tí ẹ pé owó tó wọlé fún wọn ò pọ̀ láti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ àti pé àwọn tó ń gbowó tó pọ̀ á jẹ́ kí wọ́n lè san tó iye tí wọ́n rí.
So I want us to be calm. The notion of any money that comes into my account to be taxed, that's not how the way it works.
ẹ jẹ́ kí a fi ọkàn wa balẹ̀ pé gbogbo tó bá ti wọnú ẹnu báǹkì wa náà ló máa yọ owó níbẹ̀ kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
And the government they don't have the right to debit your account, pay tax or whatsoever.
ìjọba ò sì ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti lọ sínú ibi tá a fowópamọ́ láti lọ fa owó yọ níbẹ̀ pé láti yọ owó orí wọn ò lè ṣe léyìí.
As at normally by this time last year we had a situation tó jẹ́ pé owó oúnjẹ lọ sókè gan. But presently, tẹ́ bá ṣe analysis yín dáadáa. As of last year, I think rice was about 70, 80,000, 90,000. But presently, if I'm not wrong, 50, 55, 60, like get rice. I don't think I'm wrong.
níwọ̀n yọdún tó kọjá owó oúnjẹ lọ sókè bí àbí ìrẹsì bí àbí 70,000 àbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ṣùgbọ́n ní ìsàlẹ̀ kó ti wá sílẹ̀.
So presently, the tax reform, it is not to scare us. It is not to place more burden on us. It is just to reduce the taxes we are paying. And also for the low-income earners, they want to lift the burden of the taxes that we've been paying previously.
àtúnṣe owó orí kò ṣe pé láti dẹ́rù bà wá tàbí láti pé ká di ẹrù lé wa lórí kì í ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ láti ran àwọn tí owó tó ń wọlé fún wọn ò pọ̀ tó láti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ àti àwọn tó pé wọ́n tó pé owó wọn tó pọ̀ láti lè yọ iye tó tó láti ná owó tí wọ́n rí.
So with this, I don't know if we are actually very clear with the new tax reform or we still need more sensitization on it.
mi ìmọ̀ bí a tún ní nílò àlàyé sí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ owó orí pẹ̀lú tí mo ti sọ yìí tàbí a nílò àlàyé sí.
Okay, thank you.
ẹ ṣé.
Thank you, sir. Ṣé a ní ìbéèrè? Ta ló ní ìbéèrè? Ẹ jẹ́ kí a nawọ́. 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ó ti dábẹ́ yẹn, àwa mẹ́sàn-án ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bọ̀ wá síta. Àwa mẹ́sàn-án ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bọ̀ wá síta. Okay, àwa tá bá lè kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́. Àwa tí a bá lè kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ kí a kọ́. Àwa tí a bá lè kọ́. Àbí àwa tá wá fẹ́ kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ kí a kọ́ ká máa. Oya.
Praise God. Thank you for the enlightenment. And I feel most people, like most mothers, let's be sincere, they are not really clear about the percent. Okay, before now, I think minimum wage last year was, I think 20-something thousand, and the percent was 7% for tax. And the reason they increased it to 20% this year is because minimum wage has increased to 70,000 naira. So that is why they did that. And companies before now, they are not new to this system. The only thing they have is just that now they are increasing their salary so that the 20% tax will level up with their salary and there will not be any loss per se. So I feel one thing is this year, or from January to December for this year, nobody really knows what is going to happen. So before we will know the tax we'll pay, it's still till next year, January. But from January to December, we'll just keep paying and keep paying. We don't know whatever tax they are paying. And I think this narration of a thing is a must normally, even before this thing. Narration is okay just because you can always track whatever you use the money for, not necessarily because of tax. And I feel 800,000, if you make 800,000 naira per month, or if you are making a transaction of 800,000 naira, it is normal for you to actually add a narration. So my question now is, from January to December, what percent of tax will be removed? Will it be based on will it be based on the money I make in or the money I'm transferring out?
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think with due respect to Reverend Fabomi and other elders of the church, I think this is a very good interactive session we're having here. And we need to have a lot of discourse on this subject matter, Reverend Sir. And there has been a lot of misconception about what this new tax thing is all about. Let us disabuse our minds. First and important one is that the government is not coming after whatever income you have in your bank account. Let us have it straight. Government doesn't have time for people like you and I. Government have time for people like Dangote, Elumelu, Sabiu Ramodu, and so on and so forth. Right. And I want us to know very well, sir and ma, that the current 50 naira charge on our bank transfer was initially there as electronic transfer. It was changed in nomenclature. It's as simple as that. And that government will go into your bank account and begin to deduct and begin to tax. It is not like that. Government will never go into your bank account to start to deduct or do any other thing. Be rest assured that what we have presently is because we are coming from an era where we don't like paying tax. There is a difference between avoidance and evasion of tax. Avoidance is that you craft your income to suit you because you don't want to pay X, Y, Z of amount of tax. That is illegal under the law. Evasion is that I have 500,000 in my account, but I've moved 100,000 away to invest in securities, shares, and so on. Government cannot tax me on that. These are things that we should know clearly. And there's even another one now that you know that your maximum withdrawal in a week is 500,000. Let us get it straight. If you take your ATM to POS or any other thing, and you are withdrawing, if you withdraw in a day more than 500,000 on Monday, if you go on Tuesday or 5 minutes after to go and withdraw, any amount you are withdrawing aside from that 500,000 will attract a 3% charge. It's solid. So let us get it straight. For the salary earners, if you are earning 800,000 per annum, there will be no tax charge on it. Before it used to be, I just shared something with Mr. Oyelami, and I think he will be able to share it on the general platform to know where each of our taxes, where we belong. Please let us get it straight. Don't let us panic. It's an ongoing thing. Even as at last week, the accounting firm of KPMG came out with about 15-page document trying to highlight some of the gaps in the new tax law. And as time progresses, the government will sit and try to adjust to suit everybody. But let us have our minds at rest that government is not after people like you and I. They are after people like Dangote, Elumelu, and co. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. My own question is I have two questions. One, the tax, is it by BVN? Let's assume I have two accounts, using one as salaried account and using the other one as business. Is it going to be taxed? Is the two accounts going to be taxed? That's one. Two, let's assume I move money from my Access account to Wema. Then at the end of the year,